ma'am. My name is Jubert Diluna from BIT 242, the leader of Group D. And today we are going to report the art history timeline, and there are two subtopics that are assigned in our group, which is the Roman art and early Christian art. But before we proceed, let me introduce first my team members. Next slide. We have Aparente Nico, Cruza Caril Ann, Chamos, Rainiel, Greg Chomari, Mangana Ederlen, Peralta Aliyah, Tambago Jairo, Troyo Jenny, and Vargas Altea. Next. So these are the two subtopics that are assigned in our group, the Roman art and the early Christian art. Before we start, we have the learning outcomes. Next, please. So for the learning outcomes, first, describe the difference of art during Roman art and early Christian art. Two, give the theme and subject of the artwork and discover the artwork and artists during Roman and early Christian art. And the last, understand the important contribution of Roman art and early Christian art in the world of art. So for the Roman art, to be discussed by Ms. Cruza, I'm giving the floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Diluna. Let us now proceed to our first subtopic, which is the Roman art. Roman art is very broad topic, spanning almost 1,000 years and 3 continents, from Europe and Africa and Asia. Roman art has been occurring in 3 continents for over 100 decades or 1,000 years, which are in Europe, Africa, and Asia. The first Roman art can be dated back to 509 BCE. In 509 BCE is where first Roman art founded and lasted in 330 CE, or much longer if Byzantine art is included. Roman art also encompasses a broad spectrum. Like the first sentence said, Roman art is a very broad topic. It has a lot of spectrum, which are marble, painting, mosaic, gems, silver, bronze work, and terracottas, just to name the few. The city of Rome was a melting pot. A melting pot, which means something in their community that are still changing, but people there have no doubts when it comes to adopting influence from Mediterranean culture. Like it says here that the city of Rome is a melting pot, and the Romans had no qualms or doubt about adopting artistic influence from the other Mediterranean culture that surrounded and preceded them. Artistic influence like Egyptian, Goddess Isis, and the influence of Christianity in Roman art. I'm giving the next floor to Mangana to discuss the next topic. Thank you.
So good evening. The four main types of Roman art. First is architecture. This include monumental structures like the Colosseum, aqueducts, and temples. Roman architecture is renowned for its use of arcs, walls, and concrete. In Roman architecture, alam niyo ba, nakilala yung mga Roman sa innovation and grandeur nito. Dahil pinagsasama-sama na dito ang pagiging practical nila and yung pagiging practical sila and maganda yung mga design na ginagawa nila or aesthetic yung feel nito. And then hindi lang sila yung basta gawa lang ng gawa, kundi pinag-iisipan talaga nila bago sila bumuo ng mga ganitong bagay. And then sabi dito, naka-include ang Colosseum, aqueducts and temples sa Roman architecture, and it's renowned for its use of arcs, bolts, and concrete. Dahil ginagamit nga ng mga Roman yung arcs and bolts para makabuo sila ng mga mas malaki and durable na mga structure. And yung concrete is mahalaga siya sa kanila dahil nagbibigay ito sa kanila ng daan para makapagpatayo sila ng mga malalaking buildings like yung Colosseum and yung Pantheon. Next is the sculpture. Roman sculpture often depicted gods, emperors, and notable individuals. They were known for their realism and detailed portraiture. In Roman sculpture, it is significant aspect of ancient Roman art dahil kilala sila sa pagiging totoo and detail sa paglalarawan ng mga individual, lalo na sa mga portrait bust. And madalas yung structure nila is nakukuha yung tunay na pagkakahawig at katangian ng tao dun sa gawa nila and yung edad and yung expression ng kanilang nilalarawan. Like for example ng sculpture ng mga Roman is yung mga statues na naglalarawan doon yung mga malalaking mukha ng mga emperors, gods, and heroes, and nilalagay nila ito or nakalagay ito sa mga public spaces para maging decoration and maging propagandistic purposes. Yun lang. Next reporter to be discussed by Jenny Troyo.
Good evening. Painting.
Bedroom pa din yung slide.
Painting, frescoes and murals were common in Roman homes and public buildings. These paintings often depicted mythological scenes, landscape, and daily life. Dito naman sa painting, ang bahay at pampublikong gusali ng mga Romano ay madalas na ginagamit ang mga presko at mural bilang dekorasyon. Ang mga presko ay malalaking painting sa dingding na nagpapakita ng mga mythological na eksena, tanawin at pang-araw-araw na gawain. Pinapakita nito kung paano nila pahalagahan ang pagpapahayag ng kanilang kultura at kwento sa pamamagitan ng sining. Next po ay mosaic. These were intricate design made from small pieces of colored stone, glass, or pottery. Mosaic were used to decorate floors and walls, often depicting scene from mythology, nature, and daily activities. Sa mosaic naman ay detalyadong disenyo gamit ang maliliit na piraso ng bato o glass o pottery. Madalas tong nakikita sa sahig at dingding na nagtapok ng eksena mula sa mitolohiya, sa kalikasan at pang-araw-araw na buhay. Sa pamamagitan nito, nabigyan ng mga Romano ng kulay at buhay ang kanilang tahanan at ang gusali. Next reporter po, Jamos.
Famous art during Roman art. Next po. The statue of Glaucon and his sons. The artist is Antenodorus and Polydorus of Rhodes. This Hellenistic sculpture, possibly brought to Rome during the early empire, depicts the Trojan priest Glaucon and his sons being attacked by sea serpents. And this sculpture is also known as the Glaucon group. And this sculpture is a famous Asian sculpture that depicts the Trojan priest Glaucon and his two sons. And this sculpture then is one of the most remarkable example ng Hellenistic art, because this sculpture is showcasing intense emotion, drama, and physical tension. And this sculpture is believed to date back to around 200 BCE to 30 BCE, during the Hellenistic period of Greek art, though it was found in Rome. And na-discover tong sculpture na to is in 1506 in Rome, near the site of Emperor Nero's Golden House. The discovery deeply influenced Renaissance artists, especially Michelangelo, who admired its dramatic expression and anatomical detail. And makikita to or malolocate tong sculpture na to is sa house in the Vatican Museums in Vatican City, where it continues to be admired as prime example of Asian sculpture. And ito din daw, itong sculpture na to is significant symbol of human suffering and divine intervention in art history and has inspired countless works in Western art and literature. Next po. The Pantheon. The Pantheon in Rome is one of the most iconic and well-preserved buildings from ancient Roman architecture. This architecture celebrated for its massive dome and innovative design. And and this sculpture is currently was commissioned by Emperor Hadrian around 118 to 125 CE. And this architecture then is notable for its perfect proportion and architectural innovations. Yung Pantayon din is ang pangalan niya dati kasi sa may Roman, ang pangalan niya is Pantheon. Ito yung isang Catholic church sa Rome. Pero ngayon tinatawag na siyang Basilica de Santa Maria ad Martires. It's also a burial place for significant figures, including the painter Raphael and Italian kings. And the Pantheon stands as a testament to the architectural prowess of the ancient Romans, revered for its beauty, symmetry, and the engineering genius that has kept intact for nearly 2,000 years. Next po. Next po, ng slide. The Column of Trajan. The Column of Trajan is a monumental structure in Rome, built to commemorate the Roman Emperor Trajan's victory in the Dacian Wars. Structure na to is itong structure na to sa Rome is ginawa nila to nung Dacian Wars. Yung Dacian Wars is nag-umpisa yan ay nangyari yun nung 101 to 102 and 105 to 106 CE. And nare-own din to ng not only as an architectural achievement but also a narrative artwork. And this structure is the Column of Trajan is celebrated not only as a Roman architectural marvel but also as a masterful example of storytelling through its sculpture portraying and emperor's military successes and the might of the Roman Empire. Next is Next is how Roman art influenced us today, to be discussed of Miss Peralta.
Thank you, Mr. Llamas. So today I'm gonna discuss the how Roman art influenced us today. Roman art has a profound impact on the art world and continues to influence us today. Through its innovative architecture, lifelike sculpture, and vivid painting, Roman art has left a lasting legacy that can be seen in modern building, sculpture, and painting. around the world. By studying and appreciating Roman art, we can gain a deeper understanding of our artistic tradition that have shaped on our world continue to inspire creativity and innovation in the present day. Um, ang ang sining ng mga Romano ay nag-iiwan ng malaking ambag sa iba't ibang aspeto ng kasalukuyang lipunan mula sa arkitektura, eskultura hanggang sa sining ng pagtitinda at ang mga pampublikong infrastruktura. Ang impluensya nito ay hindi lamang limitado sa Europa, kundi maging sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo, kabilang na lamang ang Pilipinas. Gaya na lamang ng paggawa ng sculpture na makikita natin sa mga museo ang mga gusaling tumatayo sa pagsubok ng panahon at patuloy na umahanga ang mga bisita sa kadakilaan nito. Bukod pa rito, ang sining Romana ay nagkakaroon ng malalim na epekto sa mundong pagpipinta bagamat hindi gaanong kilala ang pagpipinta ng mga Romano gaya ng kanilang arkitektura at eskultura. Meron pa rin tayong kahalagaan sa kasaysayan ng ang sining ng Romano ay patuloy na nakaka-impluwensya sa atin ngayon sa pamamagitan ng nagawa nitong arkitektura, kultura at pagpipinta. Ang pamana ng mga sinaunang Romano ay makikita sa gusaling tinitirhan, sa sining na nilikha at sa kultura ng pinahahalaga. Sa pamamagitan ng pag-aaral ng pagpapahalaga sa sining ng Romano, maaari tayong magkaroon ng mas malalim na pag-unawa sa ating sariling mga artistikong tradisyon at pamana. Nakakatulong rin na-influence din tayo ngayon ng Roman art dahil gaya na lamang ng mga nagagawa ngayon ng mga engineer at architecture. Yun lang po, thank you. The floor is yours po, Jubert De Luna po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Peralta, and to the first set of group that discussed the subtopic of Roman art. Now, let us focus on the early Christian art. Next slide. Early Christian art. The early Christian art, or Paleo-Christian art, was produced by Christians or under Christian patronage from the earliest period of Christianity to depending on the definition used between 260 and 525. So here in early Christian art, nag-start siya in the mid of 1st century, kung saan dito hindi pa ganun kalaganap or kakilala yung artwork na ginagawa nila dahil nga maraming pang doubt kung ipapatuloy ba nila yon dahil maraming tao ang hindi nga naniniwala sa kanila. And most especially dito kasi sa early Christian art is nakafocus sila sa may Christianity or sa Panginoon. And here in early Christian art, yung mga artwork or nag-survive yung mga artwork during this time in the start of the 2nd century onwards or pataas. Doon na mas nakilala yung early Christian art and hindi na siya ganun kinababaliwala dahil marami nang tao yung naniniwala dito. And actually, yung Roman art and early Christian art is somehow connected to each other because they are similar. Meron sila mga faith or paniniwala na kung saan ay connected dahil alam naman natin na sa Rome, there are a lot of believers as well of Jesus Christ. Same dito sa may early Christian art. And ang kaibahan lang, dito sa may early Christian art, most of the artworks that has been done during this time are the mosaic, like what we have in the Roman art. There's a mosaic then. Here in early Christian art, meron din siyang mosaic. And dito naman is more on spiritual art because dun sa may Roman art, they are more focused on the physical visual of the artwork. Kumbaga dito sa early Christian art, lahat is may meaning, lahat is may emotions, and those expressions na kung saan ginagawa nila yung mosaic. Kasi yung mosaic, ito yung artwork na kung saan para siyang pa-sculpture na idinidikit lang, ganun. Pero mahirap siyang gawin dahil mano-mano siya. Kumbaga pumipinta sila sa wall and using different kinds of colorful materials. And as you notice, sa mga church, sa Catholic, meron dong mga iba't ibang figure ng statue ng patungkol sa Panginoon, and yung mga statue na yun is part of the mosaic kung saan na-express nila kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin nun or ano yung naganap during that time. Kaya ayun, parang naiintindihan natin kung ano ba yung artwork nila. Yun po. And also here in early Christian art, meron ditong um, artwork na kung saan ito yung una nilang nagawa. And ito ay matatagpuan sa Rome. Sa Rome din, kasi nga sabi ko, it's somehow connected. They are similar to each other and connected somehow. Yon. And yung first na pinakanakilalang artwork ng early Christian is matatagpuan sa Rome, and that is the Roman catacombs. Next slide, please. No, pabalik ako ante. Pabalik ba? Yan, the Roman catacomb. So this is the earliest known Christian art is found in the Roman catacombs, which are underground burial chambers, or ito yung cementerio nila during that time. And ito is yung isa sa mga gawa nito is yung mga part ng nasa early Christian, though there are people also na involved, which is yung mga Rome, since dun siya nakalagay or dun siya matatagpuan. And yung mga taong matatagpuan dito, or yung mga taong nakalibing dito, is yung mga taong Christian, Jewish, at saka pagans. Yung Christian, ang mga nakalibing dito, including na doon yung mga martyr. Yung mga martyr, yun yung mga taong pinapatay dahil sa mga paniniwala nila tungkol sa Diyos, na somehow hindi sila pinaniniwalaan ng ibang tao. Kumbaga nagdududa sila if totoo ba yung sinasabi nila, if totoo ba yung paniniwala nila, hindi nila alam. Kaya, ayun, ang tendency is pinapatay sila. Pero, hindi pinapaninggan yung boses nila kung ano ba talaga yung nalalaman nila tungkol doon, dahil hindi nga naniniwala yung ibang tao. So, ayun, pinapatay sila. Yun yung mga isa sa mga nililibing or dinadala dito sa may Roman catacomb. Ito yung cemetery nila. Then, next naman na part ng Christian na nililibing dito is yung mga popes. Alam naman natin yung mga popes, sila yung mga banal, sila yung may maalam sa mga salita ng Diyos during that time. And also, as of today, meron pa din tayong mga popes sa Vatican. And yun yung mga Christian na tao na nakalibing or nakatirik dito sa may Roman catacomb. And sa Jewish naman, basically yung Jewish or Jews, these are the peoples that citizens in Rome. Sila yung mga citizens na nanirahan doon, and yung mga namamatay din is doon sila nililibing, or ito yung pinaka-cemetery nila. And last, yung pagans. Yung pagans naman, same lang din siya ng Jewish or Jews. Since yung Jewish naman is citizen lang siya ng Rome, yung pagans, citizen din siya ng Rome. Pero yung mga pagans kasi is nag-aaral sila ng mga salita ng nasa Bible. Kumbaga sila yung may curiosity sa Panginoon, and inaalam nila kung ano pa yung mga nangyari during that time. They are able to know the Ten Commandments, yung mga Testaments, lahat ng including na nasa Bible. So sila yung mga pagans. Pero same lang sila ng Jewish na citizen din sila ng Rome, but they're considered as pagans since sila yung nag-aaral sa mga salita ng Diyos. And that's my report. And now I'm giving the floor to the next reporter to be discussed by Greg Jamari. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jubert. Next naman na i-discuss natin is yung theme of early Christian art. Yun nga, dahil nang sabi ni Mr. Gilbert, nung Rome, parang dinidescribe yung arts nila as physically. Dito naman sa early Christian arts, more on ano siya, may similarities sila, pero ngayon yung early Christian arts is more on meaning. Yun yung i-discuss natin yan. First, early Christian arts often depicted themes such as death, resurrection, hope, salvation, and prayer. Some popular subject includes biblical narratives, the Good Shepherd, and the last is the early representation of Christ of apostles. Yan, maraming theme yung early Christian arts. But the main theme of early Christian arts is first is yung biblical narratives. Sabi dito, early Christian art often depicted stories from the Bible, such as Jonah, Daniel in the lion dens, and Moses striking the rock. These stories were often used allegorically to allude the life of Christ. Yun nga, sabi rito, na yung theme na ito is more on the na nasa Bible, which is dinidescribe yung like yung life ng isang tao na nandun sa Bible na kung saan nakasama nila si Jesus or yun yung panahon nila. And next naman is yung the Good Shepherd. In the catacombs, Jesus was often depicted as the Good Shepherd, a youthful figure carrying a sheaf on the shoulders. This image was based on the parable in Luke 15 verse 4 to 6, where the shepherd finds a lost sheep and lays it on his shoulder. Sabi rito, yung pinaka alam naman natin is yung pinaka good shepherd talaga natin is si Jesus, na which is isa yung lumikha sa atin, and yun yung dinidescribe siya, and yun yung matatagpuan natin sa verse ng Luke 15 verse 4 to 16. And the last and early representation of Christ and the apostles. Early Christians art often depicted Christian and the apostle. Nung si Jesus is pinako sa krus, namatay para sa atin, hindi niya pinabayaan na yung parang yung presence niya is mawala sa atin. Noon, meron siyang parang naging representation, which is yun mga apostles na nagtuloy kung ano yung naumpisa niya noon dito sa lupa. Yun yung mga apostle na sila Simon, James, Jude, Judas, Philip, Thomas, and John, Matthew, and etc. Sila yung mga naging representation ni Jesus kung pinako siya and namatay siya. Yun lang. And the next reporter will to be discussed, Miss Vargas.
Good evening po. My report is about important subjects of early Christian art. The first one is the themes of death and resurrection. Dito nilalarawan ang kaganapan sa buhay ni Kristo tulad ng pagsilang sa Kanya, pagpako sa krus, at muling pagkabuhay. Since di pa inilalarawan ang mga pangunahing kaganapan, ang tema ng kamatayan at pagkabuhay muli ay malawakang ginamit sa pamamagitan ng mga simbolo at alegorya. Halimbawa nito ay ang kwento ni Jonas na nilunok ng isang malaking isda at pagkatapos ay iniluwal sa tuyong lupa ay nakikita bilang isang paunang larawan ng kamatayan at pagkabuhay muli ni Kristo. The next one is Christianity's canonical text and the New Testament. Ito ay ang mga kwento mula sa Bible, lalo na ang Bagong Tipan, ay naging inspirasyon para sa mga gawa ng sining Kristiyano. Ang mga eksena tulad ng pagsilang ni Kristo, ang pagtuturo sa bundok, ang pagpapagaling ng mga may sakit, at ang huling hapunan ay madalas na inilalarawan sa mga painting, musik, at sculpture. And lastly, the early representation of Christ and apostles. Ang mga unang paglalarawan ni Kristo ay madalas na nakatuon sa kanyang papel bilang isang guro at isang espiritual na pinuno. Siya ay madalas na inilalarawan na may mahabang buhok at balbas at nakasuot ng isang simpleng damit. Ang mga apostol, ang unang tagasunod ni Kristo ay madalas na inilalarawan kasama niya sa mga eksena mula sa New Testament. That's all po. And the next reporter is Jairo Tambago.
So, I discuss po are these famous artwork during early Christian art. Next po. The first one po, ang sarcophagus of Junius Basus. Ito po ay isang art na makasaysayang na kabaong siya na gawa sa bato o sa marble na ginawa noong ika-4 na siglo, circa 359 AD. And si Junius Basus po ay isang matas na opisyal sa Roma. And itong kabaong po na or artwork is ginawa siya para lang sa kanya noong pumanaw siya. And ang sarcophagus po nito ay kilala dahil sa mga ukit ng pinakita po dito yung kwento ng galing sa Biblia tulad ng kwento ni Adan at Eva, kwento ni Abraham at kwento rin ni Kristo. And parang itong art na to is parang naging sobrang importante niya sa kasaysayan ng sining dahil ipinakita dito yung pagsasanib ng Kristiyanong sining at istilong Romanian na parang naging mahalagang simbolo ng paglaganap ng Kristyanismo sa sinaunang Rome. And next po. Second naman, ang Christ Pantocrator sa St. Catherine Monastery. Ito po isang sikat din po to dahil sa image ni Kristo na ginawa noong ika-6 na siglo and matatagpuan ito sa monastery sa bundok ng Sinai sa Egypt. And ang artwork pong ito ay ipininta gamit ang encaustic technique na ginagamitan ng wax and bilang alternative ng pintura. Kung kaya't itong artwork na to is tumagal siya ng sobrang habang siglo or maraming siglo. And sa artwork na to, ipinakita si Kristo na natingin ng direkta sa malayo at may hawak na aklat sa kanyang kaliwang kamay and at ang kanyang kanan naman ay nakatas na parang nagpapakita to ng blessing or pagpapala and kung bakit ito mas lalong sumikat dahil pinakita dito yung kagandahan at lalim ng Kristiyanong sining sa sinaunang panahon at ng pananampalataya ng mga taong nanalangin kay Kristo bilang makapangyarihang hari o Pantocrator. And last po. Next. Ang The Triumph of Orthodoxy Mosaic. Ito yung naging tanyag na mosaic na nakikita sa mga simbahan ng Orthodoxy na lalo na sa mga Byzantine na simbahan and at ginawa ito noong taong 1843 AD. And sa artwork sa gitna, makikita po natin yung parang babaeng may hawak na Birheng Maria at sanggol na si Jesus na papalibutan ng pari, bishop at iba pang mga tao. And sa musik na to, nagpapakita rin dito ng pagkakaisa at pananalig ng simbahan. And ginawa tong art na to para ipagdiwang din ang pagkapanalo ng mga taong naniniwala sa mga larawan ng mga santo. Kasi dati parang pinagbawalan ang mga larawang may kinalaman sa Diyos or art na may kinalaman sa Diyos. Kaya ang larawang ito ay parang naging simbolo sandigan ng tagumpay ng relihiyon. Yun lang po. Thank you. And next reporter po is Jairo Tambago.
Hello. And I'm going to report the significance of Christian art. Teaching the Bible. In times when literacy was low, art was a way to teach Bible stories to people who could not read. Sinasabi dito na pag low daw yung literacy, yung art daw yung nagiging way na para ituro yung mga Bible stories sa mga people na hindi marunong magbasa or hindi nakakabasa. Number 2 is illustrating truths. Christian art can help people visualize and understand Bible stories. Sinasabi dito na yung Christian art daw is nakakatulong sa mga tao na ma-visualize and maintindihan yung mga Bible stories. Number 3 is inspiring devotion. The beauty of Christian art can inspire people to lift their minds and hearts to higher things. Number 4 is personal reflection. Viewers can connect depictions of Christ, Mary, or saints to their own personal stories, challenges, hopes, and prayers. sinasabi dito na yung mga viewers daw po is nako-connect daw po nila yung mga depictions nila sa kay Christ, sa mga Marys po, and sa mga saints. Doon sa mga personal stories nila, mga challenges daw po nila sa buhay, and yung mga prayers, pati yung mga panalangin nila sa buhay. And number 5, reflecting Christian beliefs and values. Christian art is a powerful way to convey spiritual truths. Sinasabi dito na yung Christian art daw po yung pinaka-powerful way to convey yung mga spiritual truths. Yun lang po. And I'm going the spot back to Mr. De Luna.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tambago. Bago mo na yan, Aliyah, dun mo na sa last part. So dito sa significance of Christian art, ine-emphasize ko din or ine-emphasize din po ng grupo namin yung artwork ng Roman art since they are connected po sa isa't isa. And also with the help of this era, which is the Roman and Christian art, mas napalawig po or mas nalaman po ng mga tao yung kahalagahan ng salita ng Diyos and yung Christianity sa buong mundo, kung saan natulungan po nila tayo or tayong mga Pilipino and all over the world na masaksihan kung ano ba talaga yung kahalagahan ng salita ng Diyos. And through this era, which is the Roman art and the early Christian art, mas napalawig pa or mas lumawak yung kaalaman natin na yung mga artwork pala or yung mga era nila before is malaking epekto sa mga kaganapan natin ngayon sa mundo dahil in the modern world, mas nalaman natin kung ano ba yung mga nangyari before and kung ano ba yung mga pinagdaanan ng mga kapwa-tao natin way back this era. Like, marami nagsakripisyo just to prove their faith to God and just to prove their trust and their beliefs through the culture and also to the believers of Jesus Christ. And also in Roman art and Christian art, there's a lot of artwork that has been done, and nowadays na-inspire pa din yung mga ibang artists, including the artists here in the Philippines, na at least magkaroon sila ng idea dun sa mga naging artwork during that time, kung saan gagawin nila yon and magre-reflect yon as a copy para masustain or mabalance nila yung mga nangyayari before and also yung mga paniniwala ng mga tao before. Kaya nga, as you notice, yung sa mga church, meron pa din silang mga different kinds of statue there and different mosaics na mga nakadikit kasi nga, yun yung paniniwala nila and yun yung naging rason kung bakit hanggang ngayon is matibay yung paniniwala ng mga tao sa Panginoon. And that's the end of our reporting. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much to my co-members to report. Thank you so much to the reporters. Kindly open your camera for the screenshot. Turn on your cam, and Greg, you're the one who will screenshot para sakop tayong lahat. Jenny, open tayo ng cam and Cruza for the screenshot. One, two, three, smile. Ayan. Thank you so much, everyone. You can now cut the screen record.
Thank you po.
Thank you, ma'am.